All right, TV guide from March 10th of 1984. So this was the era of antenna TV. Cable was around, but I'd say most households still had your broadcast TV. A lot of the TV guides I've done have been in the fall and then in the summer. This is March, so I think it'll be interesting to see what's going on before the summer reruns come in. So we got A-Team on the front cover. They were definitely extremely popular in 83 and 84. Let's get into this one. Inside ad, let's check this out real quick. Looks like it was a suitcase ad or something. Tropicana orange juice? I don't know what that is. Alright. Got our cigarette ad going. Now we're cooking. Wow, lots of ads. Okay. Cheers was definitely going strong at that time. Looks like we got an article about that. Oh, looks like they're trying to make some commentary on it. That's hilarious. Check it out. 6 days with the A-Team. So this would have been a fun article if you read articles. If you were an A-Team fan. Yeah, looks like they got some inside stuff on what's going on each day. Probably be interesting just to see what a shooting, what the shooting scheduling is for a weekly, hourly show. Even if you didn't like the A-Team. Winston ad. Behind the scenes stuff. Got a couple stories about the A-Team. Maybe I'll tell them. Maybe I'll tell one of them. I don't know. Another cigarette ad. Playing to your fears and your funny bone. They're saying the commercials are exploitative. Huh. Yeah, they think they were in the 80s. They should see the ones we have now. Some carpet. Saw a carpet ad in one of the other TV guides I went through. Alright, we got our cigarettes, we got our liquor. Now we can sit back in our easy chair and watch the A-Team. Alright, so these little smaller articles are sometimes a little bit more fun because they just quickly show something, an actor or a show. These two don't catch my eye. Oh, I think I remember that. Some weird cartoon or something. That definitely rings a bell. Alright, a lot of actors that I don't fully recognize here. They always do a page on the soaps. Sports. Okay, we got our cheers and jeers. Let's see what they're cheering and what they're jeering. They liked the Democratic debate. Wow, okay. Jeers. Wow, that's some real in the weeds stuff about some Philadelphia broadcast. If you haven't seen my videos, you're not familiar with TV Guide, each one of these TV guides serves a different market in the country. So we should get to a page and we'll see which market this TV guide is from. Cheers to the Facts of Life episode, in which Tootie delivers an abrasive lecture to a single working mother. Huh. Interesting. How many cigarette ads do we have so far? I think we're already up to 4. Alright, these would be the broadcast movies. I think we'll have a page in here also with the pay channel movies. I do like to scan those just to see if anything jumps out. The broadcast wouldn't be as interesting because they'd be older, slightly older movies. Vincent Price wants us to buy some, they're giving us a chili recipe, it looks like. USFL was going on in '84. Yeah, here's that pay movie rundown. So if you had HBO or Showtime, this would be pretty useful. Although I think those pay channels back then would send you a guide if you were paying for those channels. So you probably wouldn't need this. Independence Day, not the one we're familiar with. This is one from 1983, starring Kathleen Quinlan and David Keith. Interesting. Wonder what that's about. Just see anything else jumps out. Not much. But I guess if you're paying for channels back then, you'd be happy to get a few of these. Okay, Central Indiana is what this TV guide is from. It's funny, I've gotten some of these, and it seems like most of them are from like the Midwest. I haven't gotten many from the East Coast. And I haven't gotten any from the West Coast. So you can see how few channels there were to choose from. And some of these overlap, so CBS could be channel 8, or if you're in a different market, it could be channel 18. So you'll see how that works in the listings. ABC Weekend Special, A Different Twist. Oh, it's a female becoming a boy instead of, I don't know. I don't remember Oliver Twist, so I'm not sure what's the deal is here. All right, let's take a quick look at the Saturday morning cartoons if we can spot any. Charlie Brown and Snoopy cartoon. I'm not sure I remember that. I definitely remember Mon Chi Chi's, although I don't think I ever watched it. Anybody remember Mon Chi Chi? So they had toys, and the toy commercials had a super catchy little theme song. And I don't know if the cartoon had that same theme song. I think it was just from the toy commercials. But it'll be stuck in your head if you remember it. Saturday Morning Supercade. I think that had like Q*bert and some weird stuff on it. Smurfs, of course, were huge. Scrappy-Doo. Pac-Man and Rubik's Cube. It's so funny. Dungeons and Dragons was great. Tarzan cartoon. All right, we got the Saturday evening lineup, so let's take a look at that. I'm always not totally clear on if these came on Saturday or not. If you're not familiar with this era of TV, a lot of times, like let's say a show would come on Tuesday night, and then they'd show it again on Saturday night, for people who missed it, and as a way to kind of fill the weekend out without having to create new shows. But regardless, we got T.J. Hooker, Love Boat, Fantasy Island. What a great lineup that would be. This lineup is also strong going against it. Different Strokes, Silver Spoons, We Got It Made. I never heard of that. Mama's Family. There's often ads that give us some clues on like We Got It Made or one of those. So that's another thing that's fun about going through these old guides. And looks like the other channels got Garfield on Town, Bugs Bunny, Airwolf, and Mike Hammer. So that's a lot of good stuff on Saturday night, whether reruns or not. Just checking around this other stuff to see if anything else jumps out. Michelob ad, NCAA basketball. So this was March. Yeah, this would be like March Madness. I didn't see any. So high school, but I don't see any NCAA. Could be coming on during the week, I'm not sure. Might be starting up on Thursday or something. Mr. T's got his own cartoon, so he's on the A team. He's got his own cartoon. He's in Rocky 3. He's in DC Cab. I mean, if you were around back then, you remember. Thundar the Barbarian was a great cartoon. Looks like TNN's pushing NASCAR, maybe. Got some Buck Rogers reruns coming on a VHF channel. Like maybe March Madness hadn't quite started up. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe just the way they have it listed is confusing. Or maybe it's coming on during the day on Saturday. Look at that. A full page ad for this high school boys game. See, here we go. So we saw that mentioned, but these ads kind of bring it to life, and I think that's why we should go through these TV guides. So it looks like a couple specials. Got a Garfield special, and then a Bugs Bunny mystery special. So I wonder if this was like a new thing in 1984, a new little half hour. I mean, I'm sure the Garfield was, but I'm just talking about the Bugs Bunny there. The Outsiders is a great little ad. Kind of already seen these, but sometimes I do scan these to see who the guest stars were and stuff. Maybe we'll read a couple of these plots. Let's see what was going on TJ Hooker. Romano poses as a stripper. They're trying to get the ladies to tune in for this one. Where the owner and dancer are suspects in a cocaine ring. That's hilarious. Heather Locklear was on TJ Hooker, if you guys don't remember. Yeah, look at these ads. They're great. So even if we don't go in depth on all these and look at all the guest stars, these ads kind of bring them to life. Original artwork for this Airwolf and this Mike Hammer ad. How great was Airwolf? It's interesting that Knight Rider is still shown a lot, but Airwolf you almost never see. Saturday Night Live, guest host Jerry Lewis. Man, nobody's tuning in for that in 1984. Yeah, this was the Joe Piscopo, Eddie Murphy era of Saturday Night Live. If you know, you know. Some people argue that, and probably so, that Eddie Murphy kind of saved Saturday Night Live because after the original cast left, before the 1980s cast with like John Lovitz and all those people, Eddie Murphy was kind of the main star because, you know, people weren't necessarily tuning in to see Joe Piscopo or those other people. All right. Sunday, I don't spend a lot of time on daytime on Sunday. If I see something, I'll point it out. But, you know, in Insight and Oral Roberts, like, you know, we're watching Incredible Hulk if that's our choices. We're reading Rainbow. All right, Sunday evening. Let's take a quick glance. Yeah, it looks like the NCAA is probably were going on. They just, you know, so here's Purdue versus somebody. Probably the regional game in Indiana of the tournament is my guess. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, so Sunday night we got Knight Rider and then Little Darlings. That movie rings a bell. I want to say it might be Christy McNichol, but I could be way off on that. Hardcastle McCormick, and then they're showing an old James Bond movie. And I'm guessing these would be first run. Jefferson's Alice and Trapper John still on in 84. Benny Hill, Doctor Who. All right. Yeah, see, during the day on on Sunday. You know, you got your sports. You probably got some old movies. Star Search was on. There you go. $82 channels. That's, yeah, satellite TV. Can't imagine they had 82 channels. Like, what would those be? But yeah, satellite TV was the way to get more channels back in the 80s than cable. You had to buy this giant satellite dish that was like the size of a small car and put it in your yard. Got Hardy Boys on twice, you know, different markets probably, but 2 different episodes. Look at that, that's a great ad. Opry versus Opry on Family Feud, that's funny. I'm afraid to say I don't recognize a lot of those names. Zork, who remembers Zork from the 1980s? If you were a kid in the 80s, you had to play Zork. I mean, look at that. That's etched in my brain. Zork 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't get any better than that. And I think they did Return to Zork, but 1, 2, and 3 was where it's at. All right. Yeah, look at these ads. Hardcastle and McCormick. Got some dudes with M16s shooting them down. I remember enjoying that show, but I don't know if it holds up or not. There's Maggie Briggs. That kind of rings a bell. The Jeffersons, Alice. 4 Seasons. Let's see if we can see who was on that show. Maybe. Yeah, if you had HBO, you're watching Fraggle Rock. I did not have HBO. I never seen one episode of Fraggle Rock. Is that Angela Lansbury? Oh, it says right there. Yeah, sometimes it's right in front of my face, but I'm trying to scan everything. Sometimes I miss it. So you have to be patient with what I tell you. Christy McNichol. I might cut this ad out and put it on my wall. Doesn't get any better than Tatum O'Neal, Christy McNichol. I think this movie's kind of banned now. Yeah, I mean, come on. Christy McNichol's as good as it gets. I was going to try to see who was in that. I think it was coming on at 8:30. 4 Seasons. Joanna Kearns. Yeah, I thought that might have been that's the lady from Growing Pains. So she was on another sitcom before Growing Pains. I thought that was her. Yeah, the Little Darlings also had Matt Dillon and Armand Assante. Cute movie. A classic in my mind, but everybody has their own tastes. So this is late Sunday night. I guess if you stay up till 11 on Sunday night, you can watch women's golf. I wonder if it came on during the day and they're just re-showing it. Or if they really stuck it on at 11. All right, we always got to kind of see what's going on regular weekday mornings, what cartoons might be showing in Indiana, I guess it would be. You got a cartoon carnival coming on. Who knows what that is? Cowboy Bob's Corral. I've seen that in other ones I've gone through, and I'm curious just to see what that would have been. Was that just an Indiana thing? Tom and Jerry. Flintstones. Yeah, kind of your standard. I don't see anything that kind of jumps out like Voltron or anything. At least not in Indiana. It's another thing about this era. Now we kind of are used to everybody everywhere seeing the same thing. In this era, some markets might show Voltron, some markets might show Inspector Gadgets. So depending on where you lived, you might have never seen some of those shows. Let's see, before we look at this, let's see in the afternoon what they might have been watching. Woody Woodpecker, I Dream of Jeannie, Inspector Gadget, there we go. Alvin and the Chipmunks, that's interesting. I never remember seeing that during the week. I always saw that on Saturday morning. He-Man, there we go. Yeah, 84. All the great stuff was on. Yeah. All right, so Monday evening in March, probably still, new shows coming on. TV bloopers, we love that. Scarecrow and Mr. King, Mrs. King, After MASH. I talked about that in another episode of mine. I never knew that was a thing. Emerald Point. I think we saw an ad for that in another one I went through. Has a couple stars in it. Some movies. That's why I'm skipping past some of this. Yeah, it looks like Monday night, at least here on this particular week, was a kind of movie night. USFL on ESPN. So yeah, probably another reason it didn't catch on, because you had to have cable. Buck Rogers. Let's see who was on the Love Boat. This would have been a rerun in 84. Maureen McCormick, Fernie Watson, Scatman Crothers, Vicki Lawrence. Always some good guest stars, along with your regular cast on the Love Boat. That's why it was so great. And if you recall, what's his name? The 90210 guy produced Love Boat and Fantasy Island also. Aaron Spelling. Automan, kind of a Tron type thing. Interesting show that lasted maybe 1 or 2 seasons. It was kind of interesting to see that on regular TV, the special effects and stuff. Yeah, these ads are what bring it to life. So there's the guy from V, Mark Singer, Beastmaster, in some movie called Her Life as a Man. Yeah, we got some weird stuff in the 80s. What can I say? We got some good stuff. We got some timeless stuff. We got some weird stuff. Some other movies. So yeah, I guess Monday night they were swinging for the fences with these new movies. So this lady's dressing up as a guy in this movie. Outrageous surprise comedy. Also starring the guy from Greatest American Hero. And Joan Collins. I mean, they got some stars in there. This is why we go through these. These might be lost to time, but some of this is interesting. And now if you're a Christy McNichol fan or a Mark Singer fan, or I spotted another name here, Annie Potts is in this Why May movie. We all love Annie Potts. She was in Ghostbusters. She was in Pretty in Pink. Wow, check out these ads. Oh yeah, that Emerald Point. I think it was some kind of military show. I don't know. Track and field on USA Network at 1 a.m. Some folks did have VCRs at this point, so maybe they could tape some of this stuff. We didn't tape a lot of stuff in my household. We just kind of had to be there or you were not. We did rent a lot of movies, though. Yeah, Weekday, we kind of already saw what's going on the Weekday, but I might look for anything fun here. Who wants to deal with this? Gigantic yokel newscaster ads. I mean, you're going to tune in now, right? You can't resist that face. Little House on the Prairie. All right, let's see what's coming on Tuesday nights. The A-Team, 2 hours long. Must be like a special episode. Then Remington Steele. How great is that? Fallow's Bloops and Blunders, Three's Company, Heart to Heart, pretty good. More family shows versus like the adventure shows that other channel's got on. I can't remember exactly what networks. I mean, I definitely remember A-Team was on NBC, but I feel like Heart to Heart was on CBS, but I can't remember for sure. So that's why I often don't call out the particular channel names. Okay, looks like the tournament's just coming on Tuesday. Well, maybe we'll see. We'll keep flipping. During the day, I mean, the 80s, you had like 4 channels, but there was so much great stuff on. Because look at this. During the day, you got Brady Bunch, Taxi, Love Boat, Little House, WKRP, Chips Patrol, Grizzly Adams. I mean, you could be glued to the boob tube all day long. Chips Patrol, I'm not sure, but I believe after Eric Estrada had John fired, did you guys know about that? Apparently Eric Estrada had such a huge ego that he got his buddy and, co-star fired from the show. And I think they then had to change the name to Chips Patrol. So I think that's what this is. Because notice it mentions Paunch, but it doesn't say anything about John. Imagine having an ego that big. A lot of people do, though. All right, so let's see. Was Jeopardy anything coming on in the evenings? I don't see it. Yeah, more great ads. These kind of bring these to life. So I would have never known what AKA Pablo was, but you see this and it gives you some context. And it's got some great actors on it. He was a very funny comedian. And of course, Hector Alonso, he's a great character actor. That guy's also good. All right. Some kind of movie. Let's see what's going on in this 2-hour episode of the A-Team. Decker's still after him. Got some co-stars, but none that I recognize. Interesting, a 2-hour episode though. So why are they doing Super Tuesday and? I guess it would be starting up the. All right. Remington Steele. We got Judith Light on there. I'm pretty sure that was the mom from. What was that show called? I don't know why. Sometimes I blank on these names. We know who it is. I just can't think of it. Who's the boss? Sorry. All right. Late night on. Even at night, you got Hawaii Five-0, you got Gunsmoke, MASH, Monty Python. So much good stuff. Love Boat. Not that we were staying up that late. All right, we've kind of seen the daytime lineup, but as you know, we got these fun ads on every night of the week. We got some kind of movie or something come on. We got another yokel news guy from Indiana. Somebody from Indiana needs to watch these videos of mine and say, hey, I remember this guy, whatever his name was. All right, Wednesday night. Once again, some great stuff. Facts of Life, Night Court, St. Elsewhere, Fall Guy, Dynasty, Hotel. Something for everybody. The dads will like the Fall Guy. The moms will like Dynasty. We don't even have to change the channel. We don't have remote control, so it's much more convenient if we can just sit there and watch what's ever coming on next. Look at this great ad. Some kind of special Dean Martin celebrity roast. So these roasts were super corny back then, but there are some great names here. Nell Carter, Gary Coleman. It's pretty hilarious. Bob Hope. Rich Little was huge in the 80s. George Papard. Jeez. BJ and the Bear. Yeah, see, check out these ads. One day at a time, it even tells you what's going on. Francine's hotshot fiance leaves Ian cold. There's that Mama Malone show. Don't recognize any of the actors. Check this out, Carol Burnett. What is this? Flash, Choo Choo and the Philly Flash. Network premiere. Was this actually a show? The mob, the feds, the cops, the crazy. Alan Arkin? Wow, that barely looks like Alan Arkin. That's definitely Carol Burnett. Love how they have her name bigger. There's a whole thing in Hollywood about that. You know, if you're a bigger star, your agent insists on stuff like that. I'm curious, was this a show? What's going on here? Maybe we'll find out more. This is hilarious. It's like one key figure in World War II that's missing there, the guy that pretty much won the war. St. Elsewhere was big. I've talked about it and ripped on it in other episodes, so I won't make fun of it again. If you loved St. Elsewhere, good, you know. Don't see anything else about that. Choo Choo and Philly Flash. Let's see if we can find more details. Not that I'm, you know, it's something we need to spend a lot of time on, but I'm just curious. Oh, it is a movie. Yeah, okay. So I guess by premiere, that just means the first run movie. 1981. Oh, so maybe this was actually a crazy movie that was actually in theaters. Man, never heard of that one. See who else is in it. Danny Aiello's in it. Danny Glover's in it. I mean, it's sounding better all the time. Danny Glover's so great. All right, we learned something new here. That's why we go through these. Okay, Thursday evening. Interesting. So was this before Cosby, or maybe it just wasn't on that week? Because we got Gimme a Break, Family Ties, Cheers, Buffalo Bill, and Hill Street. That's pretty strong. Magnum PI and the People's Choice Awards. People's Choice Awards was kind of a big deal back then. Supposedly chosen by the people, although I don't know who actually got to vote and how. Fame is coming on still. Yeah. And sorry, I don't spend a lot of time on the cable stuff. Occasionally I'll scan, see what's going on. You know, the Great Smoky Roadblock. I mean, come on. But if you're into cable, you probably saw some cool stuff that a lot of us never saw. Shirley MacLaine? That does not look like Shirley MacLaine. Like a super young version of her or something? Check this movie. Oh, new series. Yeah, I've never heard of this one. This time of year, they might have been trying out some replacement shows. It was so competitive back then that sometimes even good shows would get canceled. So sometimes they bring in these replacement shows, and this might have been one of those. This is a new series, Two Marriages. Don't recognize any of these stars. She looks slightly familiar. Maybe we'll look for it at 8 and see who the actors are. Yeah, I don't spot any names off the top of my head. I don't want to linger too long on it. All right. Let's see what's going on with Family Ties. Alex is taken by surprise when he loses out for class valedictorian to his... I remember seeing that episode recently. It's a pretty good episode. Alex is not the smartest guy in the room. His own girlfriend is smarter than he is. Buffalo Bill. Dabney Coleman. Jeez. right, Friday night. Lynda Carter's got some kind of special or something. Maybe we'll see an ad for that, because that would have been after Wonder Woman was off the air for quite a while. Master Legman and new show. I love that. Maybe they didn't even know what it was going to be at that point when they printed it. Benson, Webster, Blue Thunder, Matt Houston. There we go. That's all you would need on Friday night. Although Lynda Carter might have tempted you. Dallas and Falcon Crest coming on Friday nights. Just seeing what else. Return of the Jedi coming on Channel 30. But again, if you didn't have a TV guide and you were used to watching like Blue Thunder, you probably wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even flip to that channel. You just lock it in on whatever you're used to watching. It's just how it was back then. Plus, who wants to watch it with commercials? I mean, come on. So here's a Love Boat rerun. Let's see who the guest stars were. Paul Williams, he was fun. Michelle Lee, Marsha Wallace. Okay, not a lot of names I recognize. Okay, here's the Lynda Carter thing. We got Eddie Rabbit on there, so it's gonna be good. We got Ben Vereen. I guess, yeah, she did try. She had some songs and stuff, so I guess she was like trying to be a singer, kinda. Great actor, great actress. Wonder Woman, I mean, as good as it gets, but yeah, it looks like an hour show with like some singing and stuff. But Eddie Rabbit was great. Wait, let's see. From a Wonder Woman tribute, dazzling high-tech music video. I'll bet that's on the internet somewhere. Lynda Carter, Wonder Woman music video. I'm giving you pearls here, folks. Matt Houston was fun with Lee Horsley. Good kind of Magnum PI, Fall Guy type show. Here's that Legman. Guess that was a show. Claude Atkins, Bruce Greenwood, Tim Robbins is guest starring. Funny stuff. Blue Thunder, Bubba Smith, Dick Butkus. Come on. It's another one that you never see. You see Knight Rider, but you never see Blue Thunder. Why is that? Let's do a petition. Look, she's everywhere. Well, they're just pushing that special. So take a screenshot, print it out, do the puzzle. It'll probably be fun if you have a lot of 80s TV knowledge. Another cigarette ad. You can smoke and ski at the same time. They might as well put a cigarette in her mouth, man. Do it right. It's a Dynasty character. I don't remember her. I started watching Dynasty because my mom liked it in like 85, 86, I think. TNT. Another cigarette. See, he's got it. Yeah, that's how you do it. This looks strange. Trying to make a joke out of our imperialism. And there's always a couple ads at the end here. It's interesting. All right, the back page. Okay, this is fun. See you guys next time.